Welcome back to Elements of Art and the beginning of Unit 2, Line. I'm Natasha and I have another art question for you. Have you ever drawn a stick figure? Did you notice that a stick figure is made up of lines? Lines. What do you know about lines in art? Well, believe it or not, there is a lot to learn. And all that we will discuss will assist you in becoming a better artist. The element of line is one of the most crucial elements of art, as most every drawing begins with just a simple dot in space that transforms into lines and then more. Lines are everywhere. Just think of all the times you draw a line in a day. Underlining a keyword of a sentence, playing a game of tic-tac-toe or hopscotch, writing the lines of each letter as you sign your name, and more. In today's lesson, we'll be previewing this unit by discussing the definition of line and its uses. We'll go through a brief history of line and mention key artists to establish a bit of background. And we will talk about being aware of the element of line in our environment. Each unit of this course will follow a similar structure or flow. First, we will define each element, identify key terms and techniques associated with each, and explore related artists. You will also search the environment for elements of art and experiment with each through a variety of practice activities and sketchbook prompts. Lastly, each unit will culminate in a final project. So let's start out with our unit on the element of line. Think about lines and how they can be used to create art. When I think of line and lines, well, I think of a connect the dot worksheet. As each line is created, the image takes form. This is a very basic idea, but it is a good one to envision when getting ready to learn about line. So, what is line in art? If you were to write your own definition for the word line, what would it be? Well, one well-known artist, Paul Klee, famously defined line as a dot that went for a walk. Line is one of the 7 elements of art, and the definition we will be using for our learning of line is a path between 2 or more points. So, what can be done with a line? Why is it so vital to making art? Remember the first time you ever picked up a pencil or crayon. What did you draw? Most little ones experiment with line as their first artistic venture as they learn how a drawing tool works. And as you learn to draw, typically you start out with simplistic line drawings like stick figures to represent people, spread out letter M's to represent birds, or outlines put together to make simple scenes. Learning to draw by starting with line is a natural path to take. Line is a basic building block that artists use to create a wide range of artworks and effects in art. Throughout the unit, you'll learn that the way lines are used in art can outline and define, provide direction and movement, and add interest and emotion. You'll also find there are many different types of drawing styles and techniques that focus solely on line. So, how did we begin using the element of line to create art? Well, let's take a look into a bit of the history. Line is considered to be one of the earliest forms of mark making in human history. The use of lines and mark making by mankind dates back to prehistoric times, when early humans first began to create images and symbols. Archaeological evidence suggests that early humans used simple tools such as sticks, bones, and charcoal to create drawings on cave walls and rocks. These drawings were often used to depict animals and other aspects of their natural surroundings, as well as to convey ideas and tell stories. Imagine yourself as a prehistoric person. What would you choose to draw with line and why? As civilizations developed, the use of line evolved, becoming more complex and sophisticated. For example, in ancient civilizations, such as the Egyptians and the Maya, scribes used writing systems to record important events and convey information. In the Middle Ages, the use of mark making continued to evolve, with artists using it to create illuminated manuscripts and illuminated letters and other works of art. Many great artists over the centuries have experimented with their own style of line art and have used the element of line as a main component in their compositions. While we'll look at some examples from a variety of artists, we will place special focus on the work of Vasily Kandinsky and Vincent van Gogh. We'll have a few different opportunities throughout the unit to look at examples of line-focused artworks created by different artists. This will help you better learn more about how to use line and get ideas for your own art. A lot can be learned by emulating the style of artists that you really like. In fact, in the past, budding artists learned mostly by copying the masters. Line is not just something artists use. Line exists all over. Keeping a keen eye out for line in your environment helps hone your eye for design and composition. Let's think of the lines you come across in your environment. Consider the lines on a striped shirt. Lines of sunlight projecting through window blinds. The lines between the bricks on a wall. The horizon line that exists where the ground and the sky touch. A line of people waiting at a checkout counter. The yellow lines that define the middle of the road. And so many others. Try to think about other lines you see each day. Look around you and jot down some that you see in your current surroundings in the provided area of your lesson notes. In conclusion, line is an incredibly versatile element of art that has the power to shape our perception of the world around us. Taking time to appreciate line in your surroundings can be a fun and eye-opening experience. Not only will we learn all kinds of terms and techniques associated with line in this unit, but we will also be well on our way to establishing a depth of understanding regarding how the elements of art instruct and direct the creation and interpretation of art. Let's get to work. And remember, art is all around you. Hey.